Ooh, welcome back to Batman. Yes, the Batman. Yes, let us dive on in. Hold on, where were we last time? Yes, very good here, and we're going to continue that story. Speaking of stories. Oh, I have a few that I'd like to tell this evening. I'm sorry we haven't been back to Batman recently. It is sad that we haven't been back to Batman.
Going after the notes yourself, eh,
Ooh.
Bats? Good luck. I've got a crew working on the doctor as I speak. They'll squeeze the formula out of her soon enough.
Oof, they're gonna squeeze her.
Not to mention the army of clowns ripping this place apart. One way or another, the formula will be mine. Why don't you just give up? Go on, roll over and die for once. Be your best friend.
Aww, Joker. It's so nice of you. Hold on. Am I bleeding from my mask? That's weird. Batman doesn't bleed. I've seen enough comic books to know Batman doesn't bleed. Okay, first off, let's talk about these doors, man. Like, this is a door. What is this, like a boiler room? Like, I don't even, what is this? What is this? This is like a, yeah, it's like a boiler, this is a boiler room. It's a boiler room, and that door is like the door to the office of the man who basically turned your parents into mush. Like, he used a spell and turned your parents into mush. That's what that door is. That's what that door is. That is an incredibly ominous door. Okay, here we go. Let us find the grate right next to the door and rip it out of the wall. The brick wall. Let's rip the freaking steel grate out of the goddamn wall because strength is something that's just so simple. I mean, I don't even. What is physics? What are rules? We don't have those here. We're playing Batman. Oh god, Batman. I love you, but
what do you call someone who has failed to solve 3/4 of my riddles?
I'm not done yet.
Batman.
I'm not done yet. Ah, look, I see we're taking the Assassin's Creed approach to things. We have to scribble circles all over the wall. I mean, I don't know.
Another one? Can it be? No, there's no way. You can't find them all. It's impossible.
Oh, look, my batarang. Now, speaking of stories, and it's important. So, stories are important, right? Don't you think? I think stories are incredibly important, which is why it's so very important to, you know, review things from time to time to see where you've been in life. You know, just because you never really know. You never really know, and then before you know it, you realize that maybe life has dealt you an interesting hand. One that is. At best hard to really understand, and other times it's best to just, you know what, maybe you shouldn't actually think about it. So I would like to share some stories tonight, and I think these will be very enlightening stories. And one story that I actually tried to tell one time, but I was an idiot and I muted myself, and I think for the first 30 minutes of a Division 2 stream, I told the story to 4 people, and I meant it to be recorded for everybody, and that didn't really happen. So we're gonna just do that really quick. Oh my.
I think I've got it.
Oh, you think you got it? You think you got it?
Tell him I'm not gonna.
It'll
be a cold day in hell when this ghoul rises again. Oh!
You're an idiot. Joker's not gonna be happy, and you know what that means. Quiet! Just shut up! I'm trying!
Smack!
He's here!
Oh, got him! Oh, get him again! Oh, that's right, I don't have that quick battering thing. There we go. And we're gonna start story time off tonight with one of my absolute favorites. It was
Joker's thugs were trying to get into that office.
It looks like they couldn't get through the main door.
Oh,
got to find a different way in.
Oh, I'm sad now. I'm so sad. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn that down just a smidge. I'm gonna turn these down just a smidge. Not because I don't want to hear the game, but because stories are important. And as you do in an insane asylum, you just leave papers lying around. Although I could easily blame it on the insane clown posse. But one of my favorite stories that I haven't told yet is actually a Christmas story, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to tell that story during Christmas. But I just, you know, I did try to tell it. I technically did tell it. It just didn't really work out amazingly well. And so the first story is about how I ruined Christmas. I ruined Christmas for some people, but it wasn't actually my fault. It was actually everybody else's fault. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I actually would, I was always asked by my family what I wanted for Christmas, as you do whenever you're a small child. And when I was a little kid, you know, of course, my Christmas requests were always a bit ridiculous. You know, I want the Batmobile. I want all these different toys. I want a Bugatti. I want a Lamborghini. I want a Ferrari. I want a pirate ship. I want, you know, and like everyone else,
no sign of forced
you eventually grow up. You know, you eventually grow up, and you start to rein in some of those crazier tendencies. You know, all of a sudden you realize,
Young got to her
you
notes
know,
before
hey,
She's taken them to hide somewhere.
maybe mom and dad,
I need to
even
follow
when
her
they
and find
pull
out
their
where she
resources
lives.
together, maybe they can't actually, you know, afford an actual factual pirate ship. Assuming you could find one, but let's just assume they could find one, and they just you know, couldn't afford one. You know, the little things. So I eventually decide that I need to start reining in some of those crazy ideas that I have. And as I grow older, and as we all do, it's time to, you know, make those changes. So I start to...
I'm on Dr. Young's trail. I've had to calibrate the scanner to only show
start
recent
to
prints.
You know, rein that
If
in a
I
little
follow
bit.
these, I will find
As
her
I did so,
or the notes.
I hope it works. Just so you
things
know,
in life
the
got a little more
GCPD found one of
complicated,
Joker's bombs
but
downtown. It was full of
eventually,
marzipan and
even in my
As I
broken
thought,
ass family,
it's just a twisted diversion.
people
The real
stop
action's
talking
on
to
Arkham.
each other in a way that is unheard of, even by my family standards. And so every year, even as a little kid, I was told to give people my Christmas list. And I'm sure everyone has had to do something similar before. Now, the part that makes this so interesting, though, was the fact that no matter what you did, I pretty much never got anything on the list. Now, at first I didn't think much of it because I'd be like, oh, I want, like, the Batmobile from the latest TV show or whatever. Now, you know, back then those were expensive, so, like, I got it. But I get, like, a Batman in replacement. So, I wouldn't be mad or unhappy about it. So, we're going to fast forward a few more years, though, because this starts a very fun process. Oh, crap, I'm going to get hit. And one of these processes is the fact that I turn into the teenage years. They, you know, again, what do you want for Christmas, Chris? Okay, yeah, no problem. And every year, I would never get anything I asked for. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And at first, it was kind of frustrating, but you know what? You live, right? It's not a big deal. I forget how to kill this guy. There we go. There we go. And, you know, eventually, though, it kind of starts to weigh on my mind a little bit, where I kind of feel bad, you know? I keep asking for things and nobody ever picks them. Nobody ever gets them. That was kind of frustrating for a while, I won't lie. But there was something later on that happened that I said, okay, well, you know, maybe one day I think I got like 80 bucks one year for Christmas or birthday or something. And I actually bought myself a Christmas present from my list. And the night before Christmas, I actually put it under the tree and didn't put a name on it except for my own. What was just so interesting about this, and this is actually a part of the story I didn't tell originally because it really wasn't that pertinent. What was so interesting about it was the fact that everybody seemed kind of upset because I didn't tell anybody who actually got it. I just I wanted to think, oh, somebody got him something from his list. And that was kind of the goal, is to see, oh, somebody got him something from his list. This kind of unnerved everybody because nobody was willing to say they didn't get it, but nobody was willing to say they did. And so they all kind of looked at each other a little bit weird, like, because I had gotten something I asked for. Now, what I had asked for, or what I got, was nothing crazy. I think it was like, I mean, what was it? I think it was like a watch. Like, it was like a derpy little watch. I don't even remember if it was something that I actually really cared about. It's just that I needed a watch or something. I wish I could remember what the hell it was. It was something so stupid and so menial that I put it on my list and didn't really think about it. It was like a $10 watch. And that was the beginning of something that I kind of thought about, and actually really demoralized me for a little bit. Now, I know this is kind of a sad story so far, but believe me, it gets funny. And so I used to also tailor my Christmas lists for everybody, because I didn't want anybody, because broken families, you know, I didn't want anybody to kind of overlap their gift giving and feel bad. Now, I don't know why I thought this, but I did, and that was my mentality. Now, eventually, after a few years of doing this,
That guy's crazy.
I said, okay, well, this is obviously not right. You know, something's happening. I'm going to hand my list out earlier, because the reason why I never got anything, I thought, was because I wasn't giving people enough time. I had no reason to believe this, but that's what I thought. And so I handed out my list earlier one year. I handed out my list earlier one year. And of course, the same year, I'm like, okay, yeah, now this time I'm going to get something. This time it's going to be good, because this time everybody's had plenty of time to find something from that list. And again, my list is, at this time, it's, again, I'm still, but, early teens. Yeah, I'm still kind of in that phase, like, man, I'll ask for some things that are kind of expensive, you know. And so, I'm still waiting, and I'm very excited, and the next year rolls by. Nothing. I didn't get anything I wanted on my list. Again. And again, I'm kind of bummed out about this, but I refuse to be discouraged, because I'm like, maybe next year. Now. Oh crap, not one of these again. Nope, go away.
I returned to my work.
Oh lord, no. How do I
stop?
How do I stop? How do I stop? There we go. Nope. Where is it?
I should have been repulsed, but I was more eager than ever to find an explanation for why someone would do this.
God dang it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. And so... Oh, Kitty. Hi, Kitty. And so...
She looks scared.
I decide, okay, fine. You know, I'm demoralized. Not really happy. But, okay, whatever, fine, you know. I then ask people, hey, well, why didn't we get anything? Oh, the list is too expensive. It's too expensive. You asked for too much. Okay, so I tailor it a little bit better. I say, you know what? What? There we go.
I'm losing patience. You're cheating.
And so,
you must be.
after this, I actually am kind of getting a little bit bummed out, because, you know, my list is, it's not dirt cheap, but it's not, like, expensive. And so I decided, okay, fine, I'm going to lower my expectations. I then start asking for multiple things that are a little bit cheaper. You know, maybe some alternatives to things like that. And I also shorten my list down. I do this every year for a couple of years, nonstop. I always shorten the list from, like, you know, a lot of stuff to a few things, and I start trying to reduce the prices of the things that I want. Now, again, part of this happens because, you know, as an adult, or not as an adult, as you grow up, like, yeah, you kind of don't need or want the same kind of stuff. It eventually gets to the point where I have lost complete faith in getting anything that I want for Christmas. Now, that sounds horrifying, right? And, you know, you should at least get, like, one thing you want for Christmas. I mean, we live in America, at least, well, I do. I don't know where everybody else lives, but I know that at least I live in America. At least I'm pretty sure I do. So...
Welcome to the Arkham Library. History is so important. A dramatic event here, murder there. It's enough to drive anyone crazy.
Go away, you. Okay, hold on. Oh, no, no. See, the hardest part about telling stories and playing this game is that my brain power has fallen so far, I can't do both. Oh my god, my new job has made me retarded. Oh, oh, oh! I can't dodge, I can't dodge, I can't dodge!
This'll hurt.
See, I want to, like, use my little bat thingy to, like, actually beat the crap out of people. Hello. Ow! There we go. No! Gotta get... There we go. And so, fast forward to I am now dating my current girlfriend. So this is years later. And over the course of these years, I have degraded my Christmas list every year to essentially I have stopped making separate lists because I realized that was stupid. You know, and then I also reduced the number of things that I wanted to 5 things total, and I would write this list only because people asked me to do so. Otherwise, I had virtually stopped trying to ask for things at all. Because I knew every year I would get nothing. And every year my family would get really upset because I wouldn't write a list. It was almost like it was a punishment for something that I didn't know what I had done. It's like, please tell us all the things that you want so that you don't get them. And I'm like, thanks. There was one year I even tried making a list of things that I didn't want and putting that on this list. I didn't even get those. I didn't even get the things that I didn't want.
Reading the last page first? Shame on you!
And so...
Well, here's the punchline. 2 minutes, and the giggle gas goes
oh,
boom.
God dang it.
Permanently cheering up those miserable doctors. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
And so, I eventually just write 5 things on a list, and I get so lazy about it. And when I say so lazy, I mean, one of them was just Star Wars. I didn't even write, like, I just wrote Star Wars. There was nothing specific. There was nothing at all. Star Wars. And then, like, the next one, I think, was, not watch, but it was, I think it was a clock. Like, it was just, like, I wrote random crap on there. And this was the best thing ever. So, it is the first time... It is the first time...
Only joking.
Alright, there we go. It is the first time my girlfriend, no, even my now girlfriend, the one that I'm dating right now, it is the first time that she has ever seen my family, all of us together, all under one roof, all during Christmas.
Some patients broke in, began tearing...
Yeah.
So, Dr. Young was trying to hide her research notes on the formula when she was caught.
And so what ends up happening is I'm not even paying attention to the gifts. I'm not paying attention to anybody around me. I'm just simply just talking, I'm quietly talking to my girlfriend. And the funniest thing happens. Oh, Miss, it's your turn to open a gift. Okay, fine. So I open my gift. And I got a Blu-ray collection of the prequel and the original trilogy of Star Wars. I then watch everyone in the room stiffen up and their faces sour. And I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, no, that's great. And I didn't realize what had happened yet. But everyone starts to get this very angry look on their face. My mom is upset. My stepdad's upset. My brother's upset. His girlfriend's upset. My sister's upset. My girlfriend doesn't really know because just her first time with us, and she didn't really bring any presents. There was nothing there for her, so she was like, wow, Christmas is really intense. I was like, yeah, don't worry about it, it's fine. Yeah, no, we're all good. It's cool, it's fine. They don't say anything. Okay, fine. So, I thought I could break it open. Never mind. And so we keep going on, and you know, my brother opens a gift, my sister opens a gift, and where am I going? I don't even know where I'm going anymore. I have lost the plot. Oh, there's something I can do. And so I have another gift. All right, Myths, time to open up your next gift.
Thank the Lord.
And I said, yeah, cool, no worry. And I open it up, and I get another Blu-ray trilogy of the prequel and original trilogy of Star Wars. I then start laughing. I go, what are the odds? They are now very unhappy. My brother is, again, looking at everyone else and looking at me, and eventually, like, this has never happened in the decade plus that. Also, my brother, well, I have more family there, but my stepdad, in the decade plus that he was, that my mom and him were married, or unless they are at that point in time, he stops Christmas. He stops us from opening gifts. He stops everything, and he asks me what was I thinking by giving everyone the same list. And this is an awkward conversation because I don't really want to have this conversation. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this because it's going to be me literally pissing on everyone for over a decade plus of not giving me a single freaking thing that I've asked for Christmas. And the time that I did get something I wanted for Christmas, I had to get it for myself and try to hope that somebody would pick up the clue that, oh, that's right, he asked for something and nobody got him what he asked for except for that one person, and they just forgot to put the name on the gift. No, that didn't even work. And so I say, well, you know, every year I ask for something, anything at all, and I've never gotten one at all. And the first thing they did was bring up, well, what about that one time? What about that one? You're not being fair. And I was like, no, that was me. I bought that for me, and I just wanted one of y'all to maybe pretend that y'all bought it for me, and maybe somebody take credit for it. I don't know. Like, I was just hoping that one of y'all would kind of get the hint that I hadn't gotten anything that I wanted for a while. And so the room just goes quiet because there is no defense. And like, I was like, I even told them, I was like, well, you know, in order to make things fair, I was told one year that it was too expensive, so I lowered the price tags of all the stuff that I asked for. And then the next year I lowered it again, and again, and again, until eventually, like, I think the most expensive thing on this list so far is what y'all all got me. You all got me the most expensive thing on my list, which was the Star Wars stuff. That was it. That was all that I had asked for. That was expensive, and even then, like, I was extremely vague about it because I didn't care. I didn't think I was gonna get any of it. God dang it, where is this? It's a book I think I'm looking for, isn't it? And so you just see my stepdad's face turn bright freaking red. And now I want to describe this for you guys a little bit, because this man is a heavy-set man. So, of course, exertion of any kind makes him hurt and makes his face go nice and beet red, like jolly old Saint Nick. And his face goes dark crimson red. I mean, he's been angry at me before. He's been so angry at me, it's been just, it was ridiculous. This is a fat man, big beard and everything, just furious, and he can't say a word to me because he knows for a fact that I'm right. And it gets even better. My brother, who's also sitting there, and he is growing out his beard to look exactly like his dad's, is just a thinner stick version of just this man, and his face is turning bright crimson red. And his girlfriend is looking at me like, that's not nice. That's so mean that you would do that. Like, and they all try to start fighting with me. Why would you give us all the same list? And I was like, I gave you all different lists for years. And you never bothered to get me something when I did the different list. Why would I give you different lists? Why Why would I make a dozen lists of different things, all to be told no? And again, this, of course, I mean, again, I probably could have worded it a lot better. Oh, there it is. God dang it, man. Here I am. I'm blind. I'm blind as a bat. Oh my god.
Oracle. I found...
Yes.
What's that you got there? No, not the formula.
And so, oh Lord have mercy, I'm going to the scarecrow thing. And so, it gets even more interesting because we then spend the next, okay, so it is about 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 8:30, 8:45-ish. And we are all now in a massive fight. And by the way, again, reminder, my girlfriend has never had Christmas with us before. I have never invited her to Christmas. This is the first year I've ever actually wanted her to be there for Christmas. And so, it is really, like, I'm trying my best to not pick a fight.
You insisted on sitting through that movie again,
I'm
Bruce.
trying my damnedest
I'm sorry,
to make
Daddy.
it seem better.
Go easy on it.
I'm laughing at it. I'm trying to have a good time. I'm trying to kind of brush it under the rug. Trying to make it to where we can, like, I'm trying to bring this back from the brink, but no one will let it go. They keep, not yelling at me, but they keep, like, raising their voice at me. They won't open any presents. Like, we have breakfast in the other room. Nobody will go eat because we have to discuss this right here and now. And so I spent my first Christmas with my girl, my girlfriend's and I's first Christmas with that family together. And what it was straight up just an argument about whether or not anyone has ever given me things that I've asked for Christmas. And I'm willing to admit, there are some things, like when people say usually, oh, I never get what I want. And this is such a petty thing to worry about, too. It is such a petty thing to worry about. It's like, oh, I didn't get what I want for Christmas. Oh, no. But again, it's not so much that as it was the reaction to it. Was the, you all know better, but you all don't want to admit it. And it's really funny to me because I didn't care. I didn't care at all. It's you people that are the ones caring. I never actually cared after a certain point. Take a seat in my office.
Is he okay?
And so we spend the next 3 hours in front of the tree, not opening anything, discussing how I'm unfair because of that. Now,
whatever you say, Gordon.
Later on, my brother's girlfriend would eventually tell me this, where eventually I am explained how she feels bad because she didn't know that they had never gotten anything that I asked for, and I was like, sweetheart, I know for a fact that my brother gave you the list because one day I handed it to him and he handed it to you, and he said, well, let's see what happens. To which, granted, I didn't always get them everything they wanted every year, but I tried to get at least one thing from everybody's list, you know? And I would tell everybody, hey, I got my brother this, I got my sister that. So, you know, whatever list they gave you, if it's on that list, don't worry about it. Never for me. Never for me. It's such a Charlie Brown moment. It's such a goddamn Charlie Brown moment. But at the end, this is the best part. I didn't just get the Star Wars Blu-ray collector set. No. I got everything on that list like 6 times, and it was all the exact same stuff. Aside from Star Wars, I think everything else up there was like really super generic, and that was the best thing ever. And they just had a fit at me because because they didn't know what they didn't know what each other had gotten from me either, right? And so as this went further and further and further, they were getting more and more and more upset to the point where it eventually turned into a shouting match, but no longer at me. They were yelling at each other, blaming each other for not getting me the things that I'd asked for the years before because they felt so guilty about it. And I was like, guys, I'm over it. I'm an adult now. I don't care. It's not a big deal. But they couldn't let it go. And I think even to this day, I don't think they can let it go because every now and again they get a little bit upset, a little bit worried, like, hey, you didn't give me the same list, did you? But like it's a day that I ruined Christmas by simply giving up on Christmas because nobody else gave a crap either. Oh man, it was great. It was fantastic. It was one of the worst Christmases for them, but it's probably one of my favorite Christmases ever, and I love to tell that story. I love to relive that story around December with my girlfriend because she was like really upset. She at some point was like, "I don't know if we can do Christmas with your family again." And it was like, "No, that's kind of weird. That was not cool." But that was probably one of my favorite Christmases ever. Now, there's also, of course, we can't have a bad, horrible story that only I find funny, because that would be awful. So I'm going to tell y'all another awesome story. Except this one didn't happen to me, this one happened to somebody else. But I was under my control. Oh. Oh my. Why is everything chugging? Video game, why are you chugging? You shouldn't be chugging. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, many years later, I had a very interesting, very short-term job. When I say job, I was like basically hired by a friend to do like basic fee work at like a plant. And so, we're all going to a meeting. And the meeting is, oh sorry, I work in like a petroleum company. And so we're going across basically this giant, I guess, empty space. It's basically there's a bunch of little factories or facilities that I never really went to. And I'm only there to do like basic work. I'm not really doing anything crazy important. But what I am doing is I do have to kind of show up for some of the meetings just to say, okay, here's safety stuff, let's watch out for this, watch out for that. And I see like, I forget his name, but I think it's like John or James. And I see him, and he's like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I said, okay, no problem. And so he starts heading over to some porta potties. I then, in the last one to see him, so I am asked whenever we get to the meeting, hey, where's James? Where's John? Wherever his name is. And I was like, oh, he went to the bathroom. So we wait about 10 minutes and he doesn't show up. I just sitting there chilling out, waiting for him to kind of pop up, and he doesn't really show up. Okay, fine, whatever. You know, maybe something happened, or maybe he got called on a job. I don't know. But he doesn't show up. He then doesn't show up to work. Which is concerning.
Your mind will shatter like glass.
And so, you know, I'm not really thinking about it because I don't work with him like very closely. But again, somebody asked, and I was like, oh, I really don't know where he is.
Oh, there you are.
Get him with the bat signal. And by the way, I should probably preface all that with the fact that this is also it's very early morning. It is dark outside. Like, you cannot... It is pitch black. Wait, whoa. Frame rates! Oh my gosh. What is this? Dude, what is happening? What is happening?
Has anyone seen the bat?
What is happening? Jeez. Okay, I have no idea what's going on with the frame rate all of a sudden. Hopefully that stops soon. There it goes. What the hell was that? That was weird.
Anyone? No. Good.
Okay.
Zach says Dr. Young trapped in the warden's office. I've got to get out of here.
Okay, so bye-bye. And so eventually somebody asked me to, you know, give him a call. Like, what happened, right? Because I don't know, but I was like, okay, well, I'll give him a call, see what's going on. And so I call him up, and he tells me what happens.
I need to find another way down.
He tells me what happens. He says to me, "You're not going to believe this." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "All right. So I had to go home." I was like, "Oh, like, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, "Okay, well, you don't gotta tell me. I mean, you know, if it's like a family emergency." He's like, no, none of that. I was like, "Well, I mean, they're gonna ask. I mean, what do you want me to tell them?" And it's like, "I slipped." And I said, "Like, you mean to the like, what do you mean you slipped?" And he goes, "I slipped." It's like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean you slipped? I don't get it.
And I will fry you.
And he goes, "You know how I went to the bathroom?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I slipped." And I was still kind of not. I was like, "Yo, what, you slipped on, like, in the toilet?" And he's like,
Oh, there you are.
I pulled my pants down.
I've been waiting.
It was dark. I sat on the toilet, and then I didn't sit on the toilet. I slipped right off the toilet and onto the floor. Now, here's some information about maybe working on. God, dude, like, look, okay. First off, that is a very dangerous thing to do as a man. Just to have that there.
Pull up a seat. Talk to me. I'm all ears.
God dang it! Shut up, Joker.
Actually, that reminds me.
Oh my God! Shut up, Joker.
I heard Saz cutting her ears off.
Oof. That's
Certainly sounded like it.
That sounds painful. And so I then go. Oh, sorry. So the thing you have to know about when you work like on any kind of chemical plant or anything like that, you're gonna have people from all different walks of life. And what some people do in their cultures, which are totally in no way inferior to any of our own, because I have to say that, they don't sit on the toilet. They will squat above the toilet. I'm gonna let a few of y'all just kind of breathe that in for a minute, because he. And you know what else about places like that? Sometimes, in certain cultures, they don't use toilet paper. Instead, they use their hand. And instead of using toilet paper, maybe to wipe it off, they use the actual stall itself. Because cultures are beautiful and stuff. And so, he sat down in the toilet, not knowing or seeing the fact that somebody had improperly used the facilities, sat down, slid off, down his back, across his shoulders, over his legs, and he was covered in what essentially comes down to multiple people's diarrhea.
Stay where you are, Batman. Listen to me carefully.
Help me! Please, help me!
Come any closer.
Now.
And I'll paint the room crimson with her blood.
Now.
I
was horrified to hear this, because as he is telling me this story, I am just mortified. Oh.
Now that was unexpected. Who'd have figured a deranged murderer would kill the poor little doctor?
Fair. Okay, fine.
Too easy. Played you like a violin and cut your strings. Nighty-night, Bats.
Stay where you are, Batman. Listen to me carefully.
Help me!
I don't believe in helping anyone. He's a doctor.
Come any closer.
I don't believe in helping doctors.
Paint the room crimson with her blood.
And so he then describes to me how he had to how he had to try and get up in this stall where it wasn't just the porta potty, the floor, and the was it the raised area, the raised platform that was covered in shit. The walls are covered in crap.
Yeah, stay back, Batman.
And so he then describes to me how everywhere. Oh god dang! How did this go?
Evil monster!
He's not going anywhere. You can stop now.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I saw Bane.
I know. Joker threatened me. I wanted to stop the experiment. I tried to give him his money back.
Joker doesn't take no for an answer.
He wants an army, a horrible twisted force to destroy Gotham, but he couldn't do it without the formula. I hid it, but...
So now he has Venom and your formula.
God, he has gallons of the stuff. There's a lab,
Why would
hidden
you
in the
make
gardens.
so much of it?
It's locked off, but the security key codes for the entire island are in the warden's safe.
What else is Joker planning?
How should I know? You think anything he says makes sense? I think he's insane. Oh my god!
Get out of the way!
She's fine. I'm sure she's fine.
Poor Dr. Young. Still, you know how Mr. J hates a squealer. Talking about squealers.
Somebody help me!
That old loony actually thinks he runs this place. Talking about crazy. Well, bad places to go.
There are worse nurses' outfits, I'm not lying.
Knock him down, but not too rough. Mr. J needs him at the party.
Let me recover from getting blown up really quickly. Hold on. So, as he is describing this, I am having like a small breakdown because holy crap, I would be doing more than just going home. I would have called out sick. No, he's coming back to work. He's coming back to work. He just needed to go home and shower first. And so I was like, how did you get home? And he goes, I undressed in the porta potty. I waited until no one was there. I grabbed a bag from my truck.
Oracle. Dr. Young
and
is dead.
I just drove home
Have you figured out
butt
a way past
naked,
these
covered in
security gates?
shit.
Before she died.
Oh, because okay, so another thing is
The Wayne Tech
so
security
most of
protocol
the
seemed to be
people there,
hacked.
they had to wear these
We
like,
should do a
essentially
job.
boiler suits,
It's a two-part
and so
biometric
you would
sequence
wear not a whole
apparently
lot
generated by the
underneath it.
warden
You'd wear like a
using a
tank
code
top
sequencer.
and jeans.
And destroyed by Joker
And
in the
so
safe explosion.
he literally just took all of his clothes off because in order to sit down, you have to unzip your boiler suit and then take everything off with you, So, there's that. And so he just took everything off that he had because it hit his jeans, it hit everything. And he just drove home naked.
Always help those who are stuck.
I asked him, I was like, so are you gonna keep the clothes? Like, I threw them in the trash can because I did not want to get hepatitis. And I was like, that sounds horrifying. Everything about this story is horrifying. Why would you ever work with these people? Why would you ever use the porta potties? And he's like, I just turned, like, I have to go. And I was like, that's fine. But I would have, he's nicer than me. I would have actually just called out from work. I would not be going into work. I would be doing nothing but just scrubbing myself head to toe, non-stop, like all day, to try and get the feel and smell of third world freaking diarrhea from my goddamn hair. Aw, they think they're gonna get me.
Let's older guys. Stop yakking, you ruin everything.
She likes older guys.
Tell him to shut it, now. You heard that, right?
Yeah, you know where to find me. Later.
Idiot.
There we go. Now they got the suicide collars on, so whee! There we go. Oh, yeah, I thought he had a suicide collar on. Okay. Oh, he doesn't have a dang it!
You're not feeling the pressure as he takes you out one by one.
Oh, okay. Then, okay, that's fine.
You heard the boss.
Oh, god dang it! Son of a biscuit. T-pose. I T-pose!
Oh, isn't that cute? Little...
And so... There we go. Oh. Ah. Whee!
Maybe she likes older guys. Stop that. You ruin everything.
Alright, we're trying to get them all at once.
Tell him to shut it. Now. You heard that,
And so,
right?
yeah. That was... that. No. No. Imagine just being covered head to toe. In just... Again, like, diarrhea. Just absolutely disgusting diarrhea.
Sure, there used to be more of you down there.
Gotcha, mate. Reliving the good old days. I got one more story for you. And it is a retail horror story. And it's about how working in retail slowly drains you of your soul. There was one day, I was working as an IT, just basically just a computer technician for a store. And I had the most horrible incident that, well, I'll say the most horrible. This is probably like, this is probably mid at best. Mid incident for me. Where I'm working with this fat lady, and she is just, she's nice enough, but again, like, she's fidgeting in her chair. She doesn't look looks very uncomfortable. And so, as we are working through it, all of a sudden she gets this look on her face, and she goes, "I have to use the restroom." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. You know, it's just out the door." And just over, she goes, "No, you don't understand. I have to use the restroom."
Ago, I have made it illegal to walk on the floor in any part.
That's funny. I like that.
Anyone caught will have their legs removed and perform magic tricks for Emperor Joker.
That's funny.
There, I did it.
Oh, that's worse than that McCain guy talking about how the Viet Cong are treating him well. So I was like, so now we had a bathroom in the store, but we didn't really advertise that people could use it. Technically, because we were where we were, like, we had to offer it, but we'd never broadcast to anybody. So I said, okay, all right, here's the thing, like. Oh,
hey, bro.
I said, how bad? And they just go, and I was like, okay, come with me. And so I take her to the back, and I let her, you know, use the bathroom. And the thing is, as soon as that door emptied, or not emptied, as soon as that door locked, well, and here's another thing. The rule was when a person had to use the bathroom, and usually this was for like whenever a mom needed to change a diaper, or something along those lines, or someone was elderly and so moving to the other bathroom was actually too much of a hassle and it would be too difficult for them to get back, then we would allow them to use we would then offer them to use our bathroom. In this case, I did it because, well, they when someone starts going, that means time's up. Time's up. You need to go. And so, as soon as that door locks, I am having to stand next to the bathroom. It is a unisex single bathroom, and all I hear is a waterfall of just plops that hit the wall, just hit that bowl, along with a just and I'm standing there as and the worst thing about it is the smell hits me like about 10 seconds later, and she's not letting up on the noise. It's just like 4 or 5 of these in a row, and it's just never-ending cascade of freaking shit. And I'm sitting there like This is the most awkward fucking thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. And you know what's funny? This isn't even one of the top 10. This is just one that I remembered because recently I had to tell... I say I had to. I told somebody the story about the guy that slept in the porta potty. It's been a... it's been a shitty night for Batman. But I sat there and I had to listen to this woman relieve herself via toilet for it felt like an hour. It just felt like it never ended. It was awful. And then, when she was done, the place, well, one, it reeked. But more importantly, like, I had to stare her in the face for the next, like, 30 minutes and work with her. And I felt so bad for this woman. Well, at the same time, I felt bad for me, too. Because, I mean, come on, like, you're not gonna feel very confident after something like that, right? Like, I mean, you're not. And that's, you know, if you gotta go, I get it. And honestly, it sounds like, now that I've learned more, it sounds to me like the lady may have had, like, IBS or something. But good lord, like, I felt so bad for her because of what she had to deal with. Because I'm like, it's bad enough that you have to go that bad. It's even worse when you have to stare somebody in the face who's had to sit right outside the door for security purposes. Because actually, the reason why the reason why we have to stand there is because if you walk down that hallway, at the very end of the hallway, there was the bathroom. To the right of that door was the door to the outside, and that was for shipping incoming. And to the left was where all of our stuff was. So, like, we had to stand there. We had to be there when someone was there. And it made perfect sense. But oh my god. I felt so bad, and I didn't make her feel bad. I simply just ignored everything that had happened. But good lord.
I'm loading them into your head.
Oh my god. Oh crap. There we go. Come here, you. Die. There we go. There we go. And so, like, I felt so bad for that lady, but I remember I had to work with her for the rest of the night. Or for the rest of the night. Yeah, it was the night? I can't remember anymore. It was during the day, but I had to work with her for the rest of the day, and I felt so bad for her.
He's here!
Because, like, I mean, again, like, no matter what happened, I took care of her, but just, it was like, it's funny, but it's one of those things where, God, you would never want that to happen to you. Oh, so, yeah. I hope those stories entertained you. Because, and I'm sorry again that I had to miss for one of my streams. But, you know, if it makes you feel any better, what I'm doing while I'm gone is not very fun at all. And if anything, I'd rather be at home doing my normal job and/or streaming than doing what I'm doing while I'm gone. So, as a matter of fact, I have to actually go now. As soon as this is done. Oh, very good. You're all safe and sound. Very good. So I would like to wish you all a very wonderful night. I hope to see you all when I get back. Take it easy, guys.